know I had caught an assault charge, a simple battery charge for popping my cousin outside the courthouse, right? So I realized that it was time to go to court. Like, court was Wednesday. So I left Tuesday night. I went and got me a hotel room in Margaritaville in Shreveport in hopes of just being on time for court the following day. So I go down, I eat, I chill, I relax, I get into bed, I wake up at 9:30. At 9:30, I'm calling the courthouse like, hey, my name is Sherelle Hodge. I have a case there today. I'm trying to figure out what time is court. She get all the information. She said, oh, court started at 9:30. I said, oh, well, I'm right down the street at Margaritaville. She said, oh, okay, well, you should make it in time. So when I get there, I'm like, okay, this is a very traumatic experience because I just got arrested outside of this courthouse. So now I'm back in, about to go and fight for it, right? Or fight this case. So I go in, they run me through the security check system. Sorry, y'all, I'm being fat. They run me through the security system, and they was like, well, your court is on the second floor after I asked them. So I go up, the dude checks me in. I said, I'm sick and tired of seeing y'all. He said, what? I said, I'm sick and tired of seeing y'all. He said, well, I am glad you having a great day too, or whatever slick comment he said. So I was like, please don't tell me I gotta go to Catherine Doro's courtroom. Like, I really would rather not deal with her. He was like, no, you going right here. Just go on in and sit down. So I go in and I realize they got an officer that's the bailiff. He not even standing up, he's sitting down because he fat as fuck. They got another officer, it's a lady. She's sitting behind the desk where the court reporter is, the little stenographer, blah, blah, blah. Then you got the judge, you got the state, the junior state, you got all the little attorneys that they call up for the pro bono cases. And then you got us, the criminals, sitting in the public little relations spot. Oh yeah, don't forget about the criminals. That's, well, the actual inmates that's over there on the left in the jury box. So I'm sitting there and I'm listening as he calls the people. And I'm starting to think, like, did they already issue a warrant for me? Like, am I already under arrest? Like, Lord, please, I'm not trying to go to jail. So after he called a few more people, he looked back and he's like, hey, man, what's your name? I said, Sherelle Hodge. And when I said that, he went over, he started digging through his files and everything. He pulled out a folder, but then I noticed he had like a little shift in his body. So I'm like, I started to get this little weird butterfly feeling. And I'm like, okay, something's going down. Because he took a piece of paper out of there. He went over and handed it to the fat bailiff who was sitting down. The fat bailiff got on his radio and started saying something. And then I noticed the bright-skinned dude who was in the last courtroom that I was in when I was fighting for my son, he walked through the door. They whispering, they talking. I'm like, it's some shit going down. But I never would have thought what was going down was going down. So he came back out. I'm like, what's up? Because, you know, I speak to him every time I see him. He ain't say nothing. I'm like, that's weird. So he said, well, we're ready to call the matter for Sherelle Hodge, case number blah, 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 versus the state of Louisiana. So when we go up, I'm sitting here like, hey, Mr. Sir. He was like, yes, ma'am. Just talking to me like nothing was going on. So while he over here leaning, talking about, yes, ma'am, I noticed that the lady guard that was sitting right next to the court reporter and everything, she comes and she stands diagonally behind me. I said, these motherfuckers finna take me to jail. But I wasn't thinking too hard because I'm like, maybe I'm overreacting. I'm overthinking. So I was like, yeah, is there any way we can get this handled today? He was like, yeah, but we're having a small issue. And I'm like, what's the issue? They said you got a warrant. Now, he over here trying to be discreet and tell me like, but you could have told me this shit before you even called my name. I would have dipped out of here, right? So while they saying that, I feel the lady grab my hand and she putting it behind my back, telling me, do you have anything in your pocket? I'm finna take your watch off, put your phones down, blah, 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 right? So while she grabbing this hand, putting it behind my back, the judge was like, wait, huh? He was like, yeah, there's a warrant for her out of Denton County. I'm like, a warrant for, no, Your Honor, can I see? And at this point, I done picked up my other phone and I shot my friend a message. I'm like, help me. They arrested me talking about a warrant. That's all I was able to get out. And I heard the fat bailiff, who have yet to get up out of his seat, say, oh, get her phone out of her hand. Get her phone out of her hand. And I'm like, what? So he walks over, the state walks over and he's like, yeah, look at it. The first thing I'm looking for is the cause number. Because I remember my cause number because I've been dealing with Denton since 2018. Like, what the fuck? So I look at it, I said, sir, I was late to court for that in Texas, but when I made it, the judge was still on the stand. She recalled that, and that was back in January, right? He was like, well, we just got this faxed over this morning. Now, my thing is, yes, I was looking for the clause number, but I also seen the date that it was faxed over, and it was March 2nd that I seen at the top. And I'm like, this is weird. Like, none of this shit is adding up. So I was like, man, are you serious? Like, I got a warrant? Like, he was like, yeah. So I'm like, well, is there any way we could go ahead and get our matter handled? And then I can figure out this warrant shit. If I got to be extradited, then let me be extradited. But I don't want to be sitting here on this little petty charge. So the judge, she instantly like, oh, we can pass this matter. remand her to jail. Y'all figure out this whole little scenario. So I'm sitting here. I'm like, Your Honor, I don't have a warrant. Like, at this point, I'm trying to let everybody know. So she go ahead. She finished putting me in handcuffs and everything. They grabbed my stuff and they walked me back to the little room that they bring the inmates out of. So I'm back there, and the same dude who arrested me originally was the same guy that was there. And so I'm like, sir, I don't have a warrant. Like, I'm telling you. He's like, yeah, they all say that. I was like, I get they all say that because they don't want to go to jail, but I don't have a warrant. So he was like, you know what? I'm going to go downstairs. I have to take you downstairs to like the cell thing or whatever that they hold the inmates before they transport them back. They gonna get your paperwork, I'm gonna go verify if this warrant is legit or not. So mind you, I said, well, can I make a phone call? Because I have a rental car. I need somebody to come and get it. I'm not trying to catch another charge for not turning in this car, especially if I gotta sit 30 days, right? So he was like, yeah, when we get downstairs, I'm gonna let you use your phone. You call whoever. So we get downstairs. They run me through the paperwork and stuff. They take all my jewelry, my shoestrings, my belt, all of that stuff. So when I go in the cell, I can't do nothing crazy. So the first thing I do is I hit up my best friend. I hit him up like, hey, I'm having a problem. You got to come save me. I don't care what type of beef we on, He's like, where you at? Tell me, On the second hand, I'm sitting here calling down the den. Hello, my name is Sherelle Hodge. I've been told that I have a warrant out of your county, and they're holding me, and they're trying to make me wait 30 days for y'all to come and extradite me. So she got all my information, but by then I had put my phone on speaker because I need this officer to hear. So she's like, what's your name? I tell her. What's your date of birth? I tell her. And she was like, no, ma'am, your warrant was recalled on January 31st. You have to be back in court in May. And I was like, yeah, but they're telling me that it was faxed over this morning. She's like, no, I don't know why they would say that. My friend on the phone like, man, this is some bull crap. This is some bull crap right here. So I'm like, ma'am, you hear her? She was like, I heard her clear as day. I heard her clear as day say you ain't got no warrant. I don't know what's going on. So while she over here, she still got to do her job and fill out the paperwork. Are you suicidal? Have you thought about killing yourself? Do you feel suicidal now? I'm still on the phone with my friend. He listening, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, ma'am, no, ma'am, no, ma'am, no, ma'am. She was like, hurry up, get your numbers. I got to put your property and stuff in this bag, and I got to put you in the cell. So I was like, listen, I need you to call down there to Denton, get on to them, Because he's like, yeah, I was there. Like, I know for a fact that you didn't have a warrant. They recalled and you got to go back to court. And I was like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. So he pissed off. I get off the phone. I give her my stuff. So she's like, come on back here with me. Let's go to the cell. So I get back there in the cell. I went back there 10 minutes and they called me back to the front. He was like, well, she wasn't lying. They said that warrant is not valid at all.